Most people think numbness and tingling are just poor circulation or a minor annoyance. They're wrong, because what seems harmless at first could be the beginning of permanent nerve damage. And the worst part, you might be making it worse every single day without even realizing it. If you've ever woken up with numb hands, struggled to grip objects, or felt that strange tingling after using your phone, you need to hear this. Today, I'm exposing the 4 biggest mistakes that are secretly making carpal tunnel syndrome unbearable. One of them is something most people believe is actually helping, but it's doing the exact opposite. And if you stick with me, you'll discover a simple fix that can bring relief in just minutes. Before we dive in, tell me, where are you watching from? Drop a comment below. Let's get started. Mistake number 1, ignoring the early signs. Let me ask you something. Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night with your hand completely numb? Like you shake it, try to move your fingers, but it just feels dead. Or maybe you've been scrolling through your phone and suddenly that weird tingling sensation creeps in, almost like your hand is falling asleep for no reason. Now here's the part no one tells you. That's not normal. It's not just a bad sleeping position or poor circulation. It's your body screaming for help, and most people completely ignore it. Why? Because in the beginning, it seems harmless. The numbness comes and goes. The tingling only happens sometimes. So you think, hey, no big deal. It'll go away. But here's the cold, hard truth. It doesn't go away. It gets worse. That mild tingling, it turns into full-blown pain. That occasional numbness, it starts lasting longer, creeping into your day, making it harder to grip things, type, or even drive. And by the time people finally take it seriously, the damage is already done. Here's what's really happening. Inside your wrist, there's a narrow tunnel where your median nerve passes through. When that space gets too tight because of inflammation, repetitive movement, or even something as simple as bad wrist posture, your nerve gets trapped, squeezed, suffocated. And that tingling, that's your nerve crying out for oxygen. Now here's the worst part. Once that nerve gets compressed for too long, it can start dying. That's when the pain never stops, your grip gets weak, and even simple tasks like buttoning your shirt become a struggle. And yet people ignore these early signs every single day. They shake their hands, flex their fingers, convince themselves it's nothing, until one day it's not nothing anymore. But here's the good news. You can stop this before it gets worse. And no, I'm not talking about surgery, pills, or painful injections. The simplest way to prevent carpal tunnel from wrecking your hands? Stretching right now. Yes, right now. Because every second you wait, that nerve is getting squeezed tighter. So here's what I want you to do. Extend your arms straight in front of you, fingers pointing up, like you're signaling someone to stop. Now with your other hand, gently pull your fingers back. Feel that stretch along your wrist and forearm? Hold it for 20 seconds. Then flip your hand downward, fingers pointing to the floor, and pull them back again. Do this a few times a day, and you'll keep your nerves happy, your wrists open, and your hands functional. Ignore it, and well, you already know where that leads. Mistake number 2, bad wrist positioning. All right, let me guess. You wake up in the morning and your hands feel stiff, numb, maybe even a little painful. You shake them out, flex your fingers, and within a few minutes, everything feels mostly normal again. So you move on with your day, thinking nothing of it. Big mistake. What if I told you that the way you sleep, type, or even hold your phone could be crushing your nerves? Literally? And the worst part? You probably don't even realize you're doing it. Let's start with sleep. How do you position your hands at night? Are they curled under your pillow? Bent at awkward angles? Maybe even tucked under your chin? It might feel comfortable, but here's the ugly truth. You're slowly strangling your median nerve. Every hour your wrist stays bent like that, the pressure builds. The nerve gets squeezed tighter and tighter until, boom, you wake up with that dreaded numbness. And it doesn't stop there, because what do you do first thing in the morning? You pick up your phone, you scroll, you text, and if you're like most people, you're doing it all wrong. Wrists bent, fingers curled, thumbs working overtime. That's hours of nonstop compression every single day. Then there's typing. If your keyboard is too high, your wrists are constantly bent upwards. Too low, and they're flexed down. Either way, you're putting your median nerve in a chokehold. And over time, that leads to pain, weakness, and eventually the kind of damage that doesn't just go away on its own. So how do you fix it? Simple. Neutral wrist positioning. That means keeping your wrist straight, not bent up, not bent down, just flat and relaxed. When sleeping, try wearing a wrist brace to keep your hands in place. And during the day, be mindful of how you hold your phone, how you type, how you rest your hands. Sounds too simple to work? Think again. Fixing your wrist positioning is one of the fastest, easiest ways to stop carpal tunnel from getting worse, but most people ignore it until it's too late. So here's my challenge for you. Pay attention to your wrist today. Watch how you hold your phone. Check how you type. Notice how your hands feel when you wake up. You might be shocked at how much pressure you're putting on your nerves without even realizing it. And if you think this mistake is bad, wait until you hear the next one, because it's something you probably do every single day that's slowly destroying your hands. Keep watching. Mistake number 3, overusing your hands. Let me ask you something. How many hours a day do you actually use your hands? Think about it. You wake up and check your phone, scroll, tap, type. Then you grab your toothbrush, grip your coffee mug, tie your shoes. You get to work and it's typing, clicking, scrolling for hours. Then more phone time, more texting, more gripping, more holding. Now here's the real question. When do you give your hands a break? Most people never do, and that's the problem. See, your hands aren't designed for non-stop repetitive motion. Every single time you type, click, or grip, you're using the same tiny tendons and muscles over and over again. And here's the part no one talks about. Those tendons run right alongside your median nerve. So what happens when they get overworked? They swell, they get inflamed. And guess what? They start squeezing that nerve like a vice. At first it's subtle, a little stiffness, a little tingling. Maybe your fingers feel slightly off after a long day at work, but then it gets worse. The numbness lasts longer. Your grip starts weakening, and one day you wake up and realize you can't even button your own shirt without struggling. And here's the scariest part. By the time you actually feel the pain, the damage is already happening. Carpal tunnel syndrome isn't just caused by one big injury. It's death by 1,000 cuts. A slow, creeping breakdown from years of tiny, repetitive movements. And unless you stop it now, it only goes in one direction, worse. So how do you stop it? Simple, micro breaks. Every hour, take 30 seconds, just 30 seconds to stretch and reset. Here's how. First, shake out your hands, loosen them up, get the blood flowing. Second, stretch your fingers. Open them wide, then make a tight fist. Repeat a few times. Third, relax your wrists. Let them dangle for a few seconds, then rotate them in circles. That's it, 30 seconds. Do this a few times a day, and you stop the damage before it starts. Skip it, and, well, let's just say surgery isn't as fun as it sounds. And trust me, this next mistake, it's one of the biggest reasons people end up in that situation. Keep watching. Mistake number 4, relying on pain meds instead of fixing the root cause. All right, let's be real for a second. What's the first thing most people do when they feel pain? They pop a pill, ibuprofen, acetaminophen, whatever they can grab. And for a while, it seems to work. The numbness fades, the tingling eases up, the discomfort isn't as bad. So they go on with their day, thinking the problem is under control. But here's what no one tells you. Painkillers don't fix anything. They're like putting tape over a leaking pipe. Sure, it looks like the problem is gone, but underneath, the damage is still happening. And the second that pill wears off, boom, the pain is back. Maybe even worse than before. Why? Because the real problem isn't pain. Pain is just a symptom. The real issue is inflammation. Deep inside your wrist, where the swollen tendons are pressing on your median nerve, slowly choking it day after day. And if all you do is take painkillers, you're not fixing that inflammation. You're ignoring it. And that's exactly how people end up needing surgery. So if pain meds aren't the answer, what is? Simple. Get rid of the inflammation. And no, I'm not talking about more pills. I'm talking about natural, powerful ways to actually heal your body instead of just numbing it. Here's what works. First, cold therapy. Ice packs, cold compresses, even dipping your hands in cold water for a few minutes can dramatically reduce swelling. Do this every day, especially after long periods of hand use. Second, massage. Not just any massage. You need to work deep into the wrist and forearm to loosen up tight muscles and improve blood flow. Even just 5 minutes a day can make a huge difference. Third, anti-inflammatory foods. Look, your body is either healing itself or making things worse, depending on what you feed it. If you're constantly eating processed junk, sugar, and inflammatory oils, your body is in a constant state of irritation. But add in powerful, natural anti-inflammatories like turmeric, ginger, and omega-3s. Now you're helping your body fight back from the inside. See the difference? Painkillers just cover up the issue. These solutions actually fix it. And here's the thing. Most people never realize this until it's too late. They ignore the signs, they rely on quick fixes, and before they know it, they're sitting in a doctor's office, being told they need surgery. But you know better. And now you have a choice. You can keep doing what everyone else does, waiting, hoping, taking pills until the pain gets unbearable, or you can start making small changes right now that will actually heal your hands. So what's it going to be? And there you have it. Now you know the biggest mistakes that make numbness and tingling worse, and more importantly, how to fix them. Don't wait until it's too late. Start making these small changes today. If you found this helpful, drop a comment and let me know. And before you go, check out the next video on your screen. It's packed with even more tips to keep your hands and nerves healthy. See you there.